Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the second anniversary stage, or level 2, stage 2, whichever way you want to phrase it, of the 10th anniversary stage in DBZ Dokkan Battle. Now, obviously the 10th anniversary is a revamp of the anniversary battle. With it, we've received revamped stages with new equips for premium units. The second anniversary stage is a bit different to the first one. So for the first anniversary stage, we had 2 category missions. For the second anniversary stage, we have 1 category mission, and to clear the stage without any support items. What I've done is I've put the category mission first. So you will see we are currently completing the GT bosses mission for the stage. And then of course, later in the video, I'll just show you a team that does this no item. I think doing the stage no item is honestly not that difficult, whereas I think the GT bosses component is actually far more difficult than like finishing it, with no items. The reason it's so difficult to do with a GT bosses team is that GT bosses is an incredibly small category and also sucks. GT bosses has like a grand sum total of like 4 really good units. So although the event is not terribly hard, the issue comes in that most categories will have, let's say, 1 premium unit that absolutely incinerates or dominates. GT bosses really doesn't have that, and that's where it kind of falls down a little bit comparative to some of the other category challenges. So what is GT bosses as a category? Well, firstly, let's just talk a little bit about the event. So we're not going to be beating it no item with GT bosses. We'll use a separate team for that, like I mentioned. You have 2 fights. You have a Super Saiyan 4 Goku and a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. The Super Saiyan 4 Goku I find for the GT bosses mission astronomically harder than the Vegeta. Goku gets 20% additional attack with each turn passed up to 100%. What this means is that Goku scales up very, very quickly and can start to hit you very, very hard. Because of this, you want to take him out as quickly as possible, and you'll even see when I'm taking him on that I even utilize my items. Like I use both of my items. I use both Icaruses at the same time just to make sure that I get rid of Goku. Because with this team build, you can handle Vegeta quite well. But with Goku, he can be quite challenging, because like I said, he scales up very, very quickly, which can give us a lot of problems. Vegeta, on the other hand, he's pretty tough, kind of, especially, he's like probably a midway boss, so is Goku. But instead of his damage scaling up, he scales up his defense. Goku starts at about 260k normals, Vegeta starts at 220. Goku hits for about 650k on his super, Vegeta hits for about 600. But the big fact is that Goku himself fires off this growing attack stat. So that's why it's more important to take out Goku. You'll probably find you deal better with Vegeta. Now GT bosses, very small category. The Omega Shenron we've taken is definitely the best friend lead to take, but your only other alternative lead is an STR Super 17. If you don't have that, you have to try and build either a Target Goku team or a Shadow Dragon Saga team. I went with the Shadow Dragon Saga team, but I would like to state that if you do have Android 17 or you have a Mega Shenron, but more importantly, especially if you have the Easy Aid Super Baby 2 Giant Ape, so the STR Super Baby 2, then you definitely can build a much more interesting GT bosses team than you can a Shadow Dragons team. The AGL Super Baby 2 is an absolutely amazing unit for this fight. His Easy Aid makes him deal up very big damage when he's facing a Hybrid Saiyans or Pure Saiyans, and so he can be an absolute huge force of damage, and he can almost solo this event himself, even if he's under a reduced lead like Super 17. So if you have Super Baby 2, don't use this team build, revert to a GT bosses build under Super 17 if possible, or a Target Goku build under Hellfighter 17, because I believe that Super Baby 2 is under target Goku. So it's very, very important to do that. Other than that, it's pretty much a standard Shadow Dragon Saga team. So I've got the physical Omega Shenron as my lead. I have the int Oceanus Shenron Easy 8. I have the int free-to-play Legion of Shadow Dragons. I have the who else do we have? Oh, I have the physical Sin Shenron as well, and I have the int Sin Shenron and the int Ice and Nova Shenron. Pretty much a lot of these units are actually really bad. Like, especially in the first fight, the 2 physical units alone are high-risk units that are going to cause us a lot of problems. The team faces much, much better when it's taking on Vegeta, due to the fact that all of a sudden we don't have type disadvantage. Because Vegeta is AGL, and we don't have any strength units. So for us, units like Ice and Nova, and units like Sin Shenron do a very good job. Again, you're better off running under Super 17 a GT Bosses build. I just wanted to test out how the Shadow Dragons team went, and it works out fine. But if you can do a Target Goku or a GT Bosses, you're probably much better. Android Super 17 will be okay here. Baby will be okay here. I'm not saying you'll be able to not item, but I do think that you'll be able to get through the stage without too much pain. Obviously, taking on this fight, I would say there's not any real gimmicks aside from Goku's attack growth. So, for example, outside of Goku scaling up, both bosses are immune to attack down, both bosses are immune to defense down, both bosses are immune to stunning, both bosses are immune to sealing, etc., etc. It's a very, very, very straightforward premise. So, aside from that, I would say realistically, most of the bosses are honestly very straightforward, and I would say most of the stages are very, very straightforward. Of course, I think ultimately a lot of it is going to have to be decided based on your availability of units. If you have the units to run GT bosses, then you're probably in for a better shot. If you've got Super Baby 2, you're in for a better shot. If you've got a Mega Shenron, of course you're in for a better shot. Like, there's a lot of better alternative teams, builds, and things that you can do to make stuff work. It's just more a statement that, yeah, I think ultimately you'll probably find that it's easier to potentially deal with, for example, like, it's just potentially easier to deal with building a Shadow Dragons team for some players, which I just wanted to test out. Friend lead will always be Omega Shenron, and for the most part he does his best to carry. He is one of those units that needs a little bit of time to build up, but the revive comes in handy a lot, so I think a lot of the times it's not a huge issue. The Tex and Shenron also does a great job, especially against the Vegeta. He does great damage. You want to bring units that tend to crit, because critting is actually very, very important, especially when you are trying to measure the amount of damage that units can do. So critting is pretty much actually almost necessary at this point. So I would say, like, you definitely want to have crit to a certain extent. But yeah, ultimately, I think the GT Bosses challenge is quite tough. So don't panic if you can't do it, especially if you're a new player. You're probably better off, if you do get Super 17, running a GT Bosses centric team, because your availability of units will be based on the LR banner that's currently up, and so you should, in theory, have a bit of a better time. Of course, that's pretty much it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This team at the end here is just a Majin Buu Saga team. No, iteming this stage is not that difficult. You could run a USS team, Majin Buu Saga, Fused Fighters, Earth Protecting Heroes. You can use the latest units. You can even use a Giant Empower. You could even use the teams I used in the previous fight. And their super attacks and everything aren't too bad when you use an actual high meta team. So the team I'm using is Majin Buu Saga, but you could very easily use Hybrid Saiyans, Kamehameha, Majin Buu Saga, USS, movie bosses, uncontrollable power, planetary destruction, even teams like Planet Namek Saga. I mean, there's tons of different variations of teams that you can use. So for me, realistically, is just not too much difficulty with that one. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you need any more help. And otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. So as always, thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.